And so it begins.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Welcome to the Michael Butler BUTZ Show Special Quarantine Edition. Live from Quarantine Studios here at the Sound Museum. Yeah! Could be a little early on that one, though. Ladies and gentlemen, D-Vibes. Can we even hear him? Vibes? Wait, I think I heard him, but I can't. Yeah, maybe it's like not even like loud enough. Oh yeah, there we go. D-Vibes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, y'all. You know, we're getting a little better at it here and there. But it's good to be here, ladies and gentlemen. Joining us on the phone today, very special guest and good friend, saxophonist extraordinaire, and lettuce horn, Ryan Zoidis. Yo.
What up?
Dude, it is good to hear your voice, my friend.
Always good to hear yours.
You know, that's what it is. And, you know, perhaps I should address the fact, you know, I talk to the guys in Lettuce a lot. You know, I'm talking to them. Okay, it's like, hey, Butz, you're going to talk to someone from a different band? It's like, you know what? Not right away. Because there's like a situation going on. And
yeah, I mean, you carried me through college, you know, a good portion of it anyway.
Well, you know, I think,
I mean, the history's deep, so the roots are deep with us. So
the roots are very deep.
It makes sense.
Yeah. And I think, honestly, I'm finding out that the most important reason why I got on the air is essentially to connect people and to make us feel that we all have a place that we can go that's social. It's almost like they closed all our clubs, they canceled all our gigs, they took away all our events. And,
right.
You know, what do we do to hang out? Because, and they also said we can't, like, hang out with more than a couple people. And then even the people that we go to see, we could be putting at risk. And you're not going to go see your friends when you're putting them at risk. I mean, me and Lammy made sort of like a blood swear, like, you know, we're in this together. This is like something we have to do, or we might go crazy if we didn't have something to do. We were both
can't go hanging out with a bunch of random cats all the time, you know.
Right.
And
Rando Calrissian.
You have to trust each other and take inventory of the people you're hanging with. Really, like, unfortunately, that's just kind of how it is right now.
Yeah, I had a crazy thought the other day that I was actually going to have to start determining who would in my life. Now I have to start filtering through people I see out in the world, and maybe I'm going to have to start considering who's hug worthy. You know what I mean? I don't know that I'm gonna be, I used to hug. I'm used to be a big hugger. I'll hug everyone. I mean, that I had to think to myself.
Me too. I went in for a hug yesterday, and I had to stop it short, cut it short, and just, you know, air hug.
Air hug. Yeah, like, you know, right.
But even an air hug is kind of sketch if it's too close.
It's way sketch at this point. You know, it's been especially like, I don't know about. Maybe you're not quite there yet, but like for me, like I don't even like it when people walk like in my direction. Do you know what I mean?
I walk on the street if someone's coming down the sidewalk. You know, I generally get on the street or cross the street. It's really crazy. Something I would never do. You know?
Yeah, dude. And, I mean, so, I was talking to my dad today, and I'm sitting there like in my quarantine zone. Okay. Like eating the same bowl of oatmeal that has gone cold. Do you know, like over the course of the day, like we're like like going over like my financial documents, like over over the phone, and it's almost as if like he's in his quarantine zone, I'm in my quarantine zone. D vibes, is that you?
No, that was me. Sorry.
That was that's usually D vibes, like cooking dinner over there.
Oh no,
he brought us into the kitchen the other day. No, that's cool, man. Everything okay? You didn't chop off a finger, did you?
Yeah, but when I got back from Europe, I was like, man, I've been to 12 countries. Nobody cares that I'm here. I could be bouncing around town, like going to all the establishments and infecting people if I was exposed to it, which there was a really good chance that I was, considering I was on a plane for 8 hours through Paris. Like an enclosed cabin with like 200 people. I mean, it's just, yeah. So, and then I went through customs in JFK and it was super chill. Walked right through basically. And then came home and I just talked to a doctor. My mom actually talked to a doctor and was like, yeah, you should probably just chill for 2 weeks and not be around anybody and just make sure you don't have any symptoms so you're not spreading it around.
Yeah. Well,
so I was real careful for the last 2 weeks, and I mean I still am. Like I'm still not really seeing any. I did see some people today, which was great.
It's a good thing.
But
I'm starting to think I need to take a joyride just to get out of the house. But I'm afraid. I'm afraid to look at the empty city right now. Like I kind of want to live in denial that okay, I'm just busy up here. Me and Lammy are growing a product right now.
Right. Well, in Maine, it's like the population is really dispersed. So there's like all these like beautiful, natural places to go, but they're closing all these parks and like hangs. Like you can't really go. They don't want big groups of people hanging out together in these parks, so those are closed. Beaches.
Well, that's a crazy thing if like you start limiting access to parks.
I know.
It's just such a... I'm talking to my dad.
It's like
did you hear the news today?
They're encouraging people to get outside and exercise, but then you can't use these places, and then it's just... I don't know, man. It's crazy. It's hard to like find a good... Like, actually, I went on a bike ride, though, today with my daughter, and it was amazing. There was no traffic at all. There's no cars anywhere, basically. It was very quiet.
Yeah, it's a little bit spooky, man. There's no other way around it. It's just...
It really is.
And I talk a little bit about, because it's sort of every day you can almost even feel it just a little bit more, that there's a change. The world is changing, we're changing, and,
Yeah, people's perspectives are changing deeply, with this experience, I think. And, we don't even know. We don't even know yet how it's going to affect us forever.
Well, but, we don't want it to affect us forever, so we're all staying home and doing our best to, go along with the program and just stay home.
Totally.
Honestly, you were telling me you got a pretty decent setup. Most musicians are taking solace in their music. It's the thing that got us here. And
I had the most spiritual, just beautiful 2 weeks of just, practicing my instrument, working on some, Bach transcriptions. I had the Bach cello suites going.
Oh, cool.
All these old saxophone etude books.
Nice.
I was running through just really working on my technique and revisiting things that I used to shed a lot when I was younger. And that felt great. And then I got my recording rig set up and just started I played on a couple of Nigel's tracks.
Okay.
Dyche sent me some drums. Tycoon and Jesus sent me a couple tracks. I'm pretty backed up with them right now. I got to get to work with them.
Right.
But I cut my thumb last night, so I slowed down a little bit on the playing.
Yeah, but, I know I dropped that reference in there. I knew what happened. You had showed me a picture, which I and the legal staff over here at the Michael Butler BUTZ Quarantine Show have determined is just a little bit too graphic for my audience.
I wouldn't want anybody else to see that. We're close, I trust.
Yeah, well,
keep that between me and you.
Yo,
no one wants to see that.
No one wants to see that. Oh,
but it was a scary moment because I was I should probably get some stitches right now.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like a musician who makes money with his hands.
Right. And
Can't
then
go to the hospital because it's a bad place for him to be.
Yeah. So one of my daughter's classmates' fathers was a surgeon in Boston for 20 years, and I called him and sent him that picture, and he was like, "Yeah, I should probably come over and just at least clean it up and see if I can just kind of stitch it. If I need to stitch it, he brought stitches, and he brought these like kind of outside, less invasive kind of things that cinched it down, and he just used those and cleaned it up nice. And he told me to elevate it and ice it. So I think it's going to heal okay. I think it's going to heal all right. I get a good feeling. The nerves are definitely intact. It's definitely sensitive. If I bang it, it's not cool.
I mean, I was bumming. I mean, here I took the Band-Aid off. I can show the people. There's like, you
what happened to you?
It's nothing really. It's like there's like a slice. It's healing up nicely. I'm just showing them in the camera here. You know,
a chef friend told me that the only way to get good, really, really good with your knife skills, is to at least cut every one of your fingers once.
It actually makes a lot of sense.
He's like your fingers just develop this intuition with the knife when they're on the cutting board. They just go away from the blade naturally.
Wow.
After they've been cut so many times.
That's actually insightful, and I know that that is true. Is that it does seem like every chef friend I know is like, showed me at one time or another some sort of gruesome cut that they do.
Yeah.
But tell me about the fact that because I know we were talking with Eric Benny Bloom the other day, and he was talking about how you two, among being partners in a horn section, are also partners in a wine business because it comes up to me that I've known you for quite some time and know you to be like a true connoisseur of all things, and seem to have a real deep appreciation for quality, especially in food and things that you ingest.
Definitely. I've always been interested in that kind of stuff, and Natty Wine came into our lives about 6 years ago. Through, sorry, man.
It's okay. Work it out. Talk amongst yourselves. Go ahead.
So this cool couple moved to Portland, Maine, and the dude is a drummer in a band called Here We Go Magic. They're like this cool artsy band from Brooklyn, psychedelic. Nigel Godrich, the dude that did the Radiohead OK Computer record, did their record. Just saw them live and did their record. Remember Luke Temple?
I'm not sure.
Luke Temple was Jeff Basker's roommate back in the day.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, he was in that band. It was a weird connection there.
I think I only found out recently that I think Lammy was Max McVitie's roommate.
Yeah,
I think that's how it works. I'm like, wait a minute, dude.
That's crazy.
Oh my God, the world is so
Lammy goes deep too.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go off on that tangent, but get back to what you were saying.
Yeah. So anyway, this cat moves to my other drummer friend. He had been around the world in Spain and Copenhagen and drank a bunch of this natural wine, and he's just always raving to me about it. And I'd never really experienced it, and he brought me to this wine store that opened right down like 2 blocks from where I live now. And this couple opened it up, and this dude Peter is a drummer, and he was just talking to me about this wine and telling me about it and taught me a lot about it. And I was buying bottles regularly and just ended up bringing Benny a bottle of it. He was just blown away. He was just floored, and he got way into it. And he was just off to the races with it. He got obsessed with it. Like more than me, basically.
Yeah, I mean,
and then we were in Colorado. We found ourselves in Colorado a lot at these beautiful restaurants that didn't have, the wines that we were used to having available to us. So we were trying to figure out how to get them there, and we looked into it and realized we could get a liquor license to distribute in Colorado. And then we did it.
Nice.
Now we have a wine business.
And now we have a wine business. Benny and Zoid Selections.com. I guess some people actually thought
Wine's
it would be
selling. Like, people need wine right now. Natural wine is good, and it's also like the healthiest beverage available.
Well, right, natural wine, especially.
Yeah, it's like especially like the no sulfur, unfiltered. Like those wines have so much to offer. Nutritionally, they don't strip your body or like deplete your immune system like some other boozy drinks. They're generally lower in alcohol, higher in antioxidants and probiotics and all that stuff. Which
is good because honestly, like I'm very nervous to have fun with any substance that might like weaken me.
Exactly. You got to be real picky about what's going in your body. I think.
I think so too.
You don't want big sugar spikes, even though we all get the munchies.
It's true. Some of us more than others.
Yeah.
But I actually, personally, I've sort of changed my focus. I don't know if you really know. For the last couple years since I've had a regular gig every Wednesday, I haven't felt that I felt it would be irresponsible not to take the absolute best care of my body because I don't want to have to rally after some damage I did to myself, having fun the old-fashioned way. Having to work my way back at least once a week. So, I really had no more time to sort of, treat myself badly and recover from it. So I decided that I was going to quit everything. I quit everything from cigarettes. I haven't totally quit drinking, but I don't drink. I almost never drink. Sometimes if I'm where I'm going. If I'm where I'm going, I will drink. But like I said, I kind of feel like I want to drink right now. And that actually sounds good. Like if I can sell myself on the fact that what I'm drinking is made from real ingredients and even has antioxidant, is heavy in antioxidants. Like that actually.
Yeah, and probiotics.
Yeah.
A lot of them will have some really good, really complex probiotics intact, and they're really mineral rich, so they're actually hydrating rather than dehydrating. We don't get a ton of minerals from a lot of the vegetables that are grown commercially in our diets, and this wine really fortifies our diet with a complex mineral
I'm really coming around on
content.
This. I feel like I'm about to join Schmeens. You know what I mean? Schmeens is now a client.
Even Schmeens digs it. Schmeens, we had a few toasts in Europe with Schmeens, and he was. I think actually the first time we drank wine, some really crazy natural wine with Schmeens. It was an orange wine, and these orange wines have this like tropical fruit vibe, like passion fruit, mango vibes.
Ooh.
They're not sweet, but they're just like they're really bright orange colored, and they're just awesome, high acid. Anyway, so he had a sip of that, and he had a dab of something really nice, and he was just like he had an idea. We had this idea to do a wine and dab bar.
Oh yeah,
natty wine dab bar. Pair the dabs with the wine.
Oh, I want to go there.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't we get to do the fun things like, Boston, I feel like is just way behind Denver. I'm not, that hasn't happened yet, but Denver would allow for such a place is what I'm saying. Like, it wouldn't be hard to open something like that up, somewhere out here. Maybe even in Portland. Yeah. Portland would probably be a good place for that too.
Portland might be close to getting there, actually. I mean, I don't know. Having booze and weed in the same place is not really the best idea.
I don't know.
But, unless it's done in a really classy way. And
that's what I'm saying.
Abused,
If it's all high-end quality stuff and it checks out, I don't know. I think Denver would be ready for something
pours,
like that.
Like really small pours and really low temp dabs.
I mean, that's the other thing. So, in the list of exactly. Nice and easy. But
and some snacks, so people are eating
natural
snacking.
stuff. Food. Offer food, of course. And
Mhm.
that's the thing. It's quality ingredients. That's what I'm getting at. Is that when I decided to clean up my act, the most important thing that I decided to clean up was my diet and just.
That's great. Good for you, Butz.
That's
awesome.
That's what it is, and I really I'm very careful with eating things that are processed with the sugars and the salt and everything that I don't need. And you know, and honestly, that kick, and I don't want to gloat too much for the people, but honestly, like I went on this kick to strengthen my immune system. Now, this is all fun and games now because
good for you.
I don't want to do a victory lap too soon, but I mean, so far so good. Even though like I don't know, like I'm a little dry today. Like isn't it weird that every little flicker that happens
I know.
is now
I've
suspect?
a couple things and I'm like, ooh, I don't know.
Every other
I had a terrible dry cough on the way home from Europe. And it was just from being exhausted and smoking too much hash in Copenhagen, I think. I was just hacking on the plane and felt so bad about it. It was embarrassing.
Yeah, and I have to ask myself if anything that's weird with like my lungs and like anything like right now has to do with the fact that I'm not getting outside.
Right. See, I'm getting outside at least once a day for an extended period of time, like an hour or two. And I'll find some space because it's easy to find space around here and just like run around or bike around or whatever.
I think I'm contemplating waiting for the next sunny day, and then I think I'm going to go to my folks' house and sit on the back porch. And like we're gonna hang out through like the sliding door that might leave the screen open, or who knows? I might be on the extreme far end. We might just do like one of those visits like through the window that they're doing, and it's just like, my folks are older. They're not like hi mom and dad. I know they usually get around to watching at some point, but. I wouldn't go so far as to say they're elderly, but like my mother said, she hates that word, but like use it if like anyone gives you any crap in general, like hey, like hey, listen, leave me alone. I've got elderly parents I'm going to see or anything like that. So she's a team player, but like no, they're older though. Like you have to anyone at a certain point is going to be is someone you have to protect from, especially from the virus that's going around these days. That's it. I would love to talk about something else in the news. I really, it's funny. It's like this is my job.
Right.
I've done this radio show. There's like a routine I go through where I look through the news and I want to pull some stories. You know what I mean? I want to pull some facts. Like what happened in the world today? Nothing.
Yeah.
There's a virus. Everyone's home. Is that you, D Vibes?
We got vibes?
Yep.
What was that? Look at Lammy. I was like, who's taking bong hits? It's John Lammy with sound effects. He's working it out. See, I mean, I can wait. We can do like dueling bong hits here. Wait a minute. Like the trick, right?
I'm rolling a joint without a left thumb, just so you know.
Oh, perfect. We might have to have like a huff break.
No thumb joint.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Nobody's ever seen that done.
Oh yeah. No thumb blues.
No thumb.
You got to write the no thumb blues. By the way, I wanted to reach out to the audience and ask them. Lammy was thinking about how do we fix your thumb. So maybe like some sort of 3D printing. Like a covering that we can
a latex cover that looks exactly like
like a thumb little sheath, like something that you can maybe like cover in leather, like a leather bound enforced thumb tip, custom made.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, with a material of my choice.
There you go. If there's anyone out there who thinks they can build Ryan a reinforced bionic thumb and discuss the schematics with us after the show. Oh, Stu, by the way, shout out to Stu Brooks. He's listening. He wants Lammy to have a mic. So do I, Stu.
Yeah, let's give Lammy a mic.
He's just not.
Talk.
He's
That's what I've been saying.
Let Lammy play.
Lammy is a cat.
He is.
Lammy's the heaviest cat in the room right now.
I've been saying it all the time.
We all know that John Lammy can do anything pretty much better than all of us in the room.
Right.
He can play every instrument.
That's correct.
Saxophone included.
Oh, yeah.
He can record and mix on any
See,
format ever. He can record an album on tape right now. He can record an album on fucking ADAT. Any format in the last 50 years, John Lammy could record a perfectly great sounding record on. Not only that, he can mix on every format of sound system in the last 30 years too.
He's quite a talent, and I say it every night that like he's like the biggest superstar I talk to.
He can play zither.
He can play the zither. See, I learn something new every day.
See, yep. He plays drums. He plays bass. He plays zither. He plays saxophone. Plays guitar.
Like a young Prince over here?
Yeah, basically, we've found the guy to replace the Dos Equis guy as the most interesting man in the world.
But he's just chilling, doing monitors for Anderson .Paak, just kicking it.
Yeah, he's just kicking it. No big deal. But it takes a lot of skill. It's like if something's wrong here, it's like
a lot easier than Steven Tyler, that's for sure.
Right. But I think we haven't discussed that case yet. So honestly, we have. I don't. Right. That's what I mean. We have to think. We have to talk to the BUTZ Show standards and practices before we get into that. But it's fun when like something is we need something. It's like, oh well, it's like, okay, well we can't do that because I need a cable for it. Oh, that's cool. And it's just like like 2 seconds later he's over there building. He's building the cable.
Building the cable. Yeah.
It's like, oh,
Lammy, what's up with those? What's up with these amps that you're building, dude?
Oh man, I've been tinkering again, but now it's putting me on the spot. Hold on, let me turn this. Yeah. I've been making amps. I've been repairing amps. I've been practicing the bass.
What was that? What was that SVT or that flip top you put up, the solid state one?
Oh yeah, it's a 215. It's a B15N, I think. It's over
215.
215 flip top solid state. Yeah, it's right over here.
Like 15 front and back, or two in the
like stacked, one above the other.
Stacked.
Yeah, it's
Whoa.
right there in the shot, right next to the test cam right there. So yeah, that was over at Mr. Music. I had to scoop it up. But
that looks cool as hell. How's that sound?
It sounds pretty awesome. It's a little screamy.
Nice.
It's nice. It's nice, man. It's good to hear your voice, man.
John Lammy show, ladies and gentlemen.
No, here you go.
Lammy.
See?
Lammy.
Yeah, he's the best. I'm lucky, and that's kind of like one of the
You're
fun.
Very lucky.
It's very understated, but like that's the one thing that is really mind blowing when it comes to.
Me and Lammy go back almost as far as me and you. I think about the same. Probably.
Yeah, right. You were out of the room, but we were just talking about the fact that I just found out that McVitie was your roommate. And that the Berkeley dorm scene, like I was off campus, and that's actually when Ryan alluded to is, Ryan ended up staying with me for a little while over there. So like but I didn't end up. I didn't spend much time up in the dorm rooms. I would meet the guys.
Right, you had your own crib. Yeah,
right,
you always had your own crib.
Yeah, I was like a year older. Like I had done like a half a semester of acting school, which wasn't a failure. It was just I decided I didn't want to be there. I'd rather play music, and I was partying like I was, doing things. I was having a lot of fun. I wasn't ready to stop doing it, but I figured I should actually learn something. That was the thing is like acting school and acting in general, there's nothing you can really textbook or study other than people. Okay, like in order to be a good actor, you have to understand humanity, and you have to understand yourself, and then you have to understand the difference between yourself and everyone else, and negotiate the space between, so to speak. But I don't think they can really teach you that. It's something you have to understand. And reps, it's about getting reps. But in music, it's the same thing. You got to get reps, but it's also a language. It's also a code. There's also so many things that you can study, and that you need to study, and that you need to practice, and you need to practice. But, I just wanted to learn some of these things. If I'm going to learn something in college, then let me learn something that might serve me later. I actually didn't really consider just how amazing it would be that, the people that I would get to know at Berkeley would all just become like, someone like you, someone like Lammy. You know, like it's just we created this large community, this large family. It's like a tribe.
Yeah, we had a scene that we didn't really, acknowledge as a scene then. We were just doing our thing.
Right, but I almost feel like the sole purpose of this show is almost to like tell that story of like where that all started, like back in the mid '90s, and who was a part of it, and what everyone sort of splintered off and did, because like, you got
cool
Lettuce,
story.
Max was with Carl Denson for a while. Wasn't that his gig?
Yeah. We started seeing Max at every gig pretty much. It was great.
Yeah, and so it's like everyone manages to find their way back. It's like guys like Basker and Neely J end up in Hollywood over there. It's like it's amazing when you see like the homies are just everywhere right now.
Yep.
But
it's great.
You never know, and that's to me where it comes to Berkeley. That's like equal things. Like you never know what it's going to be, which class, which professor. You're definitely going to learn a lot of things that are going to help your playing while you're there. But moreover, it's just you meet your whole generation of future musicians. It's really and executives.
Totally. I mean, my education was sparked at Berkeley with the Lettuce Cats and you and everybody else that I met then.
Right.
But it was I customized my education kind of outside the college realm.
Sure.
If you will.
Yeah.
Just because we started gigging pretty much at that point, and then it was just
that's
the school of hard knocks after that.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what Berkeley has become. It's a place that everyone goes until it really no one ever lasts 4 years without getting work.
Jesus, as we all know, Jesus is the only one that graduated.
That's right.
Which I love that. He was so thorough with his schooling.
Yeah,
and he also got out of high school a year early because he wanted to be at college with us at the same time.
Yeah, what a
Which
young
is a beautiful
G
part of the story
us.
too. I know. He was like I'm testing out of everything and getting out of high school early.
Why not? Because I think because he could be with you guys then. I mean, you guys already had met
exactly
in the 5-week
program.
program.
The 5-week the year prior.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to make you feel old, but I think like isn't that close to 30 years ago?
Yeah, it is pretty much. I'm calling it 30. I'm rounding up. I'm rounding up to 30.
Let 30 is like a tour. Is that going to happen? Is that like a thing right now?
Let 30. That's good. I like that.
I mean, we're getting a little old, man. It's like, and I'll never forget what it was like to have like gotten to know Schmeens over that summer. That like when we all started school on the second day of classes, I was in a practice room with all 5 of you.
Yeah, I mean, man, this break is so necessary for us, honestly. The silver, one of the other silver linings of this.
Wait, hold that thought for 1 second here. Oh, I think we have a caller.
Yo, what's up?
Oh, we got a Nige.
Is that a Zoid?
Nigel.
It's Brian!
Ladies and gentlemen, Nigel Hall.
Nigel.
Brian! What's up, man?
Yes.
Wow, man, this is crazy, bro. I'm still standing out on the top of the balcony and
wow, that's so great. You have that balcony.
All I see, bro. The slot bar is closed.
Finally.
Hell yeah.
Finally.
Can you believe that?
Finally, because like New Orleans,
literally closed, bro. The police are out there right now. I'm looking at the police pull up.
Oh wow.
Yep.
Look inside. There's nobody.
They can't believe it. They can't believe the slot bar's closed.
They can't even believe it.
Oh my goodness. And the cops are just mad they can't get a drink. That's New Orleans.
I can't believe it. It's literally it's crazy. And there's no cars like this. Like you hear how quiet it is. It sounds like I'm in the house.
Yeah. No, it's dead. That's so dead everywhere.
Was Ghost World. Ridiculous. The world is quiet.
Ghost World.
Ghost World.
What's up, guys? What's going on?
Man, we're just, you know, getting caught up
we're
here.
just hanging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zoe, you were saying something about a silver lining. I like silver
the
linings.
silver lining is, you know, I think we've been going so hard touring and making, just constantly doing something and looking forward to the next thing that we're about to do. And this just kind of forces us to take a step back and reflect individually on who we are and kind of hone our skills, you know, do anything we need to do spiritually to reset and, you know, just like,
not to mention write new shit.
Yeah,
right
obviously, like we're all gonna be coming up with a lot of music during this time, but like also we're gonna be taking care of ourselves, like being in one place. I was just thinking, like, I have so much great food available to me. Yep. Thank God for that, and I get to cook every meal that I eat, and the ingredients I use are beautiful, and I'm curious to see how that's going to make me feel for an extended period of time, like this might be, you know. And I think that all of us could use this sort of break for our bodies and our minds, just to kind of like, and then we can still be super creative. I mean, we're all like finding new creative zones, I think, since we've been on our little break, you know.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it's like, you know, you can either take it one or two ways. You can either, you know, just sort of withdraw into your self-quarantine and just sort of put your life on hold. And, you know, I'm not saying there's even anything wrong with that. But, you know, if that actually is something that is you know, comfortable or easier to manage. But, you know, the other thing that you can do is really exhaust all of your efforts to find a way to fight through and make progress in your life. Or, you know, I've been saying people need to be creative with their quarantines. I mean, okay, it's not a quarantine, but you should treat it like it's a quarantine. We'll get into it. They're actually trying to bring a quarantine to New York. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Which I mean, I'm a little worried, as you know, being up in Maine. Like a lot of New Yorkers are coming up here.
Yes.
Yeah. In New York, it's like 1 in every 1,000 people, or something like that, maybe even more.
Well, that's what's going on down here too. Everybody's going to Florida, thinking that they can escape it from Florida, but Florida's starting to get cases too.
Right.
Like Florida's starting to get a high volume of.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, because you don't know if you've really been exposed to it. So if everyone in New Orleans is like, it's like a hotbed here, we're getting out. It's like they're taking it with them.
Yeah, exactly. It's happening everywhere.
Yeah. So
now they're saying they can live on your shoes for like 3 to 5 days or something.
What was that, Vibes? I couldn't really hear you very well.
They say they can live on the bottom of your shoes for like 3 to 5 days.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just one of those things, like,
Really?
right? You know, there you go.
Really.
I need my in-house shoes. We need to rethink everything, Lammy. We need
to. I heard about this ibuprofen thing too. Nobody should be using ibuprofen.
It makes it worse.
Why?
All right. Yeah. Lammy, you just made Lammy wipe his hands. Use sanitizer. All right. Now I got to do it. Hold on.
Lammy definitely got to wipe his hands. Wipe your motherfucking hands.
Yeah, thank you, Nigel. Because like I'm not fucking around over here. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I hope not.
This is my quarantine mate. You know, quarantine Pogan.
That's God help you.
I know. You know, we have to go through standards. I just know we have to.
Lammy, you know what it is, bro. You know what it is. You my man. You already know.
Yeah, you know, we got to go through standards and practices when we talk about John Lammy first.
Hey,
I have to pre-approve every factoid.
What we say all the time? Say less, bro. Say less.
Oh my God! See, this is the whole point of this show, is really just to bring us together so we can laugh. You know, it's an opportunity. What's that, Nige?
I'm huffing over here.
Oh, okay. See, that's important. It's an important distinction to make. We all need to know.
Yes.
Everyone
Yeah,
gets
it's not a dry cough.
right. Everyone gets the marijuana exception on the
that's
cough
a
before
huff.
we get nervous.
That's definitely a huff cough. We're huffing over here, huge.
Yeah.
Huff cough. What do we got here? Lammy pulled up the web page for the Benny and Zoid party pack.
Oh, nice. Yeah, we're selling wine. Yeah, people. It's been great, man. People have been really responding, and it's nice to have. I actually got one the other day, and it came 4 days early.
See?
And it's all, and the packaging is actually like pretty responsible. It's all paper. There's no styrofoam or plastic or.
Wait, what is it?
Packaging. The Benny and Zoid party packs, the wine.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
You should be thinking
got
about
your
that
dad's
because
one,
if it's harder to get a
I
drink
got my
right
dad
now,
one.
they'll show up at your house 4 days early.
It shows right up at your house. The FedEx guy, like you got to sign for it, but you don't even have to touch anything. He just comes and sees you and makes sure you're 21. That's it.
Oh, that's pretty sweet.
But it's
wait,
great.
so wait.
That's
Do they have
cool.
training to check IDs? I just want to know about
No,
FedEx.
they don't. He didn't check an ID. He just looked at me and was like, "Yo, this shit is crazy."
Well, I mean, right.
He was just like,
You saw it
"Man,
in
my
your
job
eyes.
is crazy right now. Going to all these people's houses."
Yeah, you know what I don't like is that a lot of these delivery drivers like aren't leaving the food at the door. You know what I mean? It's like they'll walk up to the door, they'll see me like standing behind the door, and then they'll like still try to come in. I'm like, no, put it down, man. Put it go. No, like peace. I love you, but no, go away.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude.
I've been getting ice cream deliveries.
Okay, yeah. Whatever gets by. I mean, this is amazing.
There's some really, really ridiculous ice cream here, and this company delivers, man. It's like $10 a pop, but it's like.
Do they got the
ultra.
non-dairy? I'm non-dairy now.
No, it's full dairy.
Soul Dare.
They got the pandan yuzu flavor. That's like
What is it?
pandan yuzu. So they soak these pandan leaves in cream and milk, and then they use like ridiculous amounts of egg. It's like almost like a custard too, and it's life changing.
Yes, that sounds amazing.
So yeah, Duck Fat, Rob and Nancy, they closed Duck Fat, so they dropped off like loads of food for me, just like koji cured duck breast and fries, and duck confit, and oh my god, they hooked it up so huge. It's insane.
You are styling right now.
Great. Yeah, I got a fridge full of food.
Yeah, Nige, you're no stranger to Portland. The two of you actually, I'm glad you came on tonight with us because it's almost like I feel like Zoid and I sort of like share the credit in bringing you into the fold. I feel like that's a fair statement.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm trying to remember whether or not hold on, go outside.
Well, yeah,
Go outside.
Ryan brought you down to like Matt Murphy's that night. I think that was the first time.
No, it was Wally's.
It was
We went to
Wally's the first time.
first.
Oh, we went to Murphy's afterwards.
It was Wally's first, and we all went after. And I think
Right.
that was the
I just
first
remember
time
the
I
pictures
met
from
you. But
it. Absolutely was. When we were Michael
it the
McDonald
first-
battling Michael McDonald's
we were
impressions
at
Murphy's though,
in the
right?
street.
At Matt's, yes, at
In the
Matt's.
street. I remember that.
It was one of those
That's-
things. Nigel and I took it out to the street in each other's
Yeah, we took
face,
it to the street.
Yeah.
taking it to the streets.
Street. And we've been doing it ever since.
And it was literally.
Can I hear a little bit right now?
Me, but I'm your
I'm huffing right now. I can't do that.
brother. Yeah, it was like that.
I was raised here in this living hell.
Living hell. Oh,
You gotta do
man.
that shit, man.
Yeah,
Where's
yeah.
Mike? Get Michael on the show, man. Get Don on.
We got to do that. We could do our
gotta
own
get
Michael
McDonald.
McDonald court. Yo, I mean, look, we're taking it to the next level. You know what I mean? I'm ready for all that. Let's talk to Michael McDonald.
know you are.
We'll get like Bobby Caldwell back. You know what I mean?
We'll get the whole crew back, bro.
Ted, where you at?
Ted! Hi, Ted! We can do a lot of fantastic things. That brother
The
Ted
Pope?
Turner on the cover. Ted, where you at?
I just want to. I just want to hear. I just want to hear you laugh, bro.
The Williams brothers. The Williams brothers.
Two brothers Williams.
The brothers.
I have a Williams Brothers record.
You do?
Yep.
Is it dope?
Yes, it's super.
They're actually dope.
Yes, they're actually dope.
You guys got that's a good thing because when we're hanging out, we generally go right to this place where we go down the rabbit hole and we start talking about like the rarities that you guys have been finding and listening to lately. Like I still haven't had that rabbit hole since I've been in quarantine, but it's probably time that I start digging for rare funk.
Yeah, I mean it's everywhere, bro.
It is. It is.
It's everywhere. You learn something new every day.
Yeah, you can find new funk every day.
It's so much new. Man, I mean, even Soul Sister tonight, man. She was playing some stuff on the radio.
She is a treasure trove of information.
On the radio. Shout out to DJ Soul Sister. If anybody's interested, I think she's probably off the air now. Generally, she does every Saturday from like 9. She's probably still on, actually. She's probably on for another hour. If you go to wwoz.org, you can hear her show.
Yes.
And she also has past shows on there too. So anybody looking to learn something about themselves.
Yeah. I would talk to her. I got to meet her at your wedding. I mean, Nigel, like talk about a beautiful affair when you have DJ Soul Sister at the after party.
Oh yeah, Waterworks, bro.
Unbelievable.
She's the best.
Waterworks. Yeah, she's the best. She's the greatest. Shout out to DJ Soul Sister.
Shout out to DJ Soul Sister. You know she is helping the good people in New Orleans through this time.
Yeah, she is.
Definitely the funkiest DJ,
yeah.
Yep. She's taught us a lot over the years.
Yep, and continuing.
And she knows every record. She knows all the info. She knows every
See, when I'm
cat we played on.
I know she is.
Producers.
I talk to her, and I just make sure that she checks me.
You're right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, hey man, check me.
You gotta make sure you're not just like regurgitating something.
I can't go up into a conversation with her about some shit unless I know that I know that I know. If I even have a question, I pose what I say as a question rather than it being an actual statement, so I don't look like a fucking fool.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yes.
Because I know sometimes I get in the zone and I get loud, and I start getting loud.
You
may not have reviewed the statement in my mind the way that I should have and would have normally.
That's very big of you to notice that sort of thing.
And she'll check you.
She'll check you.
Oh, yeah,
you know,
there are
times, man, there are times we go to this bar sometimes. There's this bar in New Orleans that we really enjoy. It's called the John, actually.
Okay.
And it's got a bunch of toilet seats hanging off. That's probably where you got the coronavirus anyway. But shout to the John, though. Shout to the John.
I think the way it works is places like that, Nigel, are like if you've been there, you're actually supposed to be immune, is what people say.
Well, that's the whole point.
But, yeah,
that's the whole point.
That's not science, though. You know, like. But go
anyway,
on.
she has. They have the Touch Tunes thing in there. She has the Touch Tunes app, and she'll drop 50 on the Touch Tune. And that Touch Tune, and see that Touch Tunes, the one that they have there is like a fully loaded one. Okay. So like you can basically cuts. Spotify and get everything, and like generally everything that she goes to pull up, she can find.
Wow.
You know, and she'll sit in there, and me and my Arion and Big Paul from the Soul Rebels.
Yeah.
We just sit in. Shout to the Soul Rebels.
Shout to the Soul Rebels.
Soul Rebels.
We just sit in there and just get drunk, and she will give the clinic and just be playing shit. Like it'll be like you know, like the parties that she would give every Saturday at Hi-Ho.
Yeah. And what was the place before that though?
Mimi.
Upstairs, Mimi's. That was the vibe.
That was the real vibe. That was the real vibe.
God.
But the people, but the neighbors.
Neighbors didn't. I know.
The neighbors fucked the whole vibe up.
Yep.
So I mean, I guess we fucked their vibe up, but whatever.
Yeah, well, come on. Where are they?
Whatever.
New Orleans.
Yeah.
Take it easy.
Yeah, right.
Right. Well, look, I mean, it's yeah, right. Huff cough. All right. We need Lammy. We still need that the biohazard sound effect. Oh, but
forgive me if I don't shake hands.
Biohazard sound effect.
The Chernobyl alarm.
Yeah, exactly. It's like every time someone coughs.
The Homer.
Yeah.
Anytime anyone expectorates.
Yeah, right.
Expectorate.
That's funny.
There it is. Thank you. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Leave it to Lammy.
Yeah. Lammy.
That was you, Lammy? Oh, he's a genius. He's getting better at this every day. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's. I say it a lot, but it's because I'm talking to someone new every day. So
you should have a Lammy can do anything segment of the show every episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And just give him something random to do and he'll fucking do it.
Well, he's okay.
What?
So Bill
used to call the segment "Say Less" with John Lammy.
do more, say less.
That's perfect.
Do more, say less.
Do more, say less. John Lammy. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Lammy, you have to build Zoid a new thumb. Okay. I'm putting him to work for good. You know, and I'm harnessing his power. Huh?
Do what?
I cut my thumb pretty good.
Dude, I sliced my pinky the other day.
Dude, you
did.
Yo.
Yeah, mine.
Really?
Yeah,
I sliced
bro.
my index finger. We're all. What's going on, guys? It's like
I don't know, man. That's the virus getting us.
No, it's like we're.
We got too much time at home. Too much time with the knife.
It's
well, I didn't cut mine with a knife. My interface did it to my finger.
What?
Oh, okay.
No, I blew my interface, and
you cut yourself recording.
Yeah, I cut myself recording.
That's like the typical excuse, right?
Yeah,
that's dope.
The best excuse.
That's heavy.
I cut my shit recording. Yeah.
That's heavy, dude.
Because I'm in here.
We're still waiting on that psych funk track that I sent you.
Oh yeah, I know. I actually got it right here. I got it fucking.
Wait, can you finish that? Because I think I have the version without you on it, right, Zoid?
What?
Yep.
That's what you sent me. Zoid sent me that track.
Yeah,
and wait,
I emailed them the one without you on it, but you have.
Oh yeah, but you got to send me the one with the bass without the bass.
That's right. I gotta send you the bass track.
See, okay, so we're in a holding pattern.
You can play it, Butts.
I'm gonna play it.
Next time, then Nigel can send you the other one when he's done.
Yeah.
And then see, I actually believe in.
Oh
that.
my God, Lammy!
What did he do?
Oh Jesus!
Oh, he sent him the picture. Oh my God! See, that's why.
Oh my God! Did you do that today?
Yeah, he shared it with you. See, he's producing on and off the air. You know, he's giving like a sight aid to my other guests, even though like I've determined that picture is just too gruesome for my podcast.
Oh my God!
It's bad. You don't want to see Zoid's thumb right now, dudes. So send him some love. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that was your thumb?
My thumb is throbbing with blood.
Oh my God! That's why you sound so mellow, because you losing all that fucking blood, man. Go get yourself a bandage or something, nigga.
No, it's bandage.
That's not tonight, Nige. That's a picture from what it was.
See it last night. The doctor came to the house. I got a house call.
I hope so. Shit.
Yeah, he cleaned it up nice and bandaged it up, and then I've been elevating it like it's over my head right
now.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, now I feel guilty. Now I feel guilty having you like with a phone. I'm like, it's like no, it's cool. I'm holding my phone with my mangled thumb, and it hurts. Can I get off the phone now, Butts?
No, I got the headphones on.
Oh, what a great guest. He wears his headphones. You know what I mean? Like most of my guests, you would never imagine. They just don't.
I don't like holding the phone
heard
up
a
to my head. My ear gets numb. My fucking arm gets all
Yeah, your arms start falling asleep, tingling and shit. You think you're having a mild heart attack or something.
Your ear starts getting numb and
ears start burning.
Your brain's throbbing. Yeah, it's
having
not
a fucking aneurysm hold up this fucking
just
phone.
like radiation
Your brain for 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and this is the funny thing, and I was actually going to bring this up at some point as more of like a between me and the audience sort of discussion. But I kind of wondering, and Nigel is the main reason why I'm leaning one way. It's like I have to determine whether this is like an R-rated show or like a PG-rated show. It's
R-rated.
It is R-rated.
It's
certainly
R-rated.
Well, what I'm saying is,
when I'm on this motherfucker,
right, that's right. And I always want, and for Nigel, that was what I was thinking. It was like maybe I could do like a PG-rated show, but like I could run a disclaimer every time Nigel comes on and just be like, "Ladies and gentlemen, the BUTZ Show does not take responsibility for what Nigel has to say."
Yeah, you might as well. You better record it now. Better record it now.
We just did.
So man, we had a good time in Europe, BUTZ.
Oh yeah, I mean, I want to hear about the good time.
We had a great time in Europe. We had a great. What did we do, Zoid? We went. We had to cancel Italy, so we ended up having 2 days off in Prague. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard about those days.
Beautiful city. And Nigel's wife, Jamie.
Shout out to Jamie.
Shout out to Jamie.
Shout out to Jamie.
Shout out to Jamie. Love you.
She has impeccable taste. She has impeccable taste, and she found us the most beautiful vaulted 30-foot ceiling Airbnb with big windows.
It was the dopest fucking shit, man.
It was gorgeous.
We lived like kings.
And we were across the street from the Gucci store and right near the old square.
Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang.
Shout out to Gucci.
I don't even know how they sing though. I'm just saying this shit.
Anyway, yeah, that was a nice hang in Prague. We drank Pilsners.
Yep.
Drank a lot.
And I got into natty wine. I'm not really a wine drinker.
Right.
You know, y'all, you know me, BUTZ. I like results, niggas. I want whiskey. I want to go. We drinking. That's what we drinking.
Oh,
but man, I really, really got into drinking natty wine, man, and it's fucking amazing and delicious.
I think we've all entered that stage where we like to do our debauch responsibly.
Yeah,
we debauch responsibly now.
No hangover at all. Zero.
No hangover. You get up in the morning.
Oh, that sounds so good.
Yeah.
You know.
That's the whole. I mean, that's really the bottom line.
Yeah. You get up in the morning.
You stick to natty wine. Get a nice buzz. You get a little nice little lean on, and then it's.
Watch some James Brown. Out. James Brown.
Yeah.
We watched all the 80. What we watched? North Sea 81, something like that.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
Funk.
It was miserable bliss.
Oh my God.
That's the best way to. That's the best way to.
Miserable
that's
bliss.
The best way to describe that period of James Brown is miserable bliss.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it's rough.
It's still fucking funky, but it's still like, yo.
Well, what year is that? Did he pick up the guitar in that photo?
It had to. It had to have been around that time,
right? That's what I'm thinking.
81, 82.
Yeah.
Like the Moog Liberation came out in what, 78, 79? Maybe?
That sounds about right.
So somewhere in that frame.
The Moog Liberation is the
it's
axe.
The first guitar.
It's the one.
Well,
that thing's like 100 pounds too.
I don't think it was the first one. That's not the first.
Heavy.
It wasn't the first guitar.
It was it was the other one. It's the one. It's the Prophet, the one that George had on fucking Master of the Game.
It was an ARP Odyssey, and it had they put like a strap to it.
Really? Ooh, that's nice. That sounds good.
That was the first.
Nigel would rip that to shreds.
Yeah, I know. We had a whole guitar conversation. Day before yesterday?
Right.
Who's got that ARP Odyssey model? That thing sounds amazing.
Oh, that just doesn't exist anymore. I'm sure. That's the. I mean, well, if that was the first one, you know, it doesn't exist
Make-
anymore. All
make a
they
new
did,
one.
What was
I
that?
mean, all they
Make a new
did
one.
was, yeah. I mean, they making, man. Behringer's kind of killing the fucking thing right now. 'Cause
I
they're
know the
making-
cheap Behringers are crazy.
They're making these just remakes of synthesizers, but they're cheap. They're like the OB8 they're making, and they're
Yeah, I
making
know.
a fucking.
I've seen that.
They
I've
made
seen
a
those.
Odyssey one.
Nice.
And they're like,
You know
what,
I mean?
300
They got
bucks?
the regular size fucking keys on them.
They're like 300 bucks, 400 bucks.
I mean, maybe $400, something like that. And I'm like, damn, man, like, why didn't they do that shit when I had the money? You know what I'm saying? When I was building my rig, and I'm pissed. Whatever.
Right.
Don't they have a nice string synth like a?
Yeah,
They have a nice like
Yeah.
Roland style string synth.
yeah. It's like the Krumar. It's the
Right.
they just remade the Krumar joint.
Yeah.
I'm thinking.
Sure,
I'm thinking
shit.
maybe they can make an addition. You know, everyone maybe deserves like I know like money's tight right now, but like maybe we can do something like revamp your rig next time around, trade one thing back for something else. I mean maybe like a refurbished.
I'm always working on that. Nothing I have is not for sale for the right price. You know,
we can definitely trade the motif. We can trade the motif for the.
Yeah, because we traded for like a Moog Liberation
You said
vintage.
motif?
Because
save
you were
a motif.
talking.
Trade the motif for one of them Behringer string synths.
Yeah, I mean, I could do that.
Well,
I mean, I
what-
could.
what I
I mean,
wa-
the only thing I really want to keep is my Mark 7 because no one else has one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the Mark
like,
7
I-
still.
And I almost got rid of it. I'm glad I did
Keep
get
the
rid
Mark
of it.
7. I
But
think
I
you
got
need
rid of. Bro, I had an 88. I had an 88 with Janus speakers, and I got rid of that.
I know that thing was beautiful.
And I was like, you remember that? And I had.
that thing was so. That was a museum road. It was
Yeah, I know,
ridiculous.
and I got rid of it. And I got fucking rid of it.
How much did you get for it?
Not enough.
I got,
Not enough.
Not enough.
not enough. Not enough.
That thing's.
I got.
That's
I got a pretty good amount for it, but
So yeah, explain.
you know,
those
I had
speakers
the
to people
option.
now.
I had the option of buying another keyboard.
Explain
Well,
those speakers though to the people because you don't
the
ever see
speakers. Well, okay.
those. Those are separate speakers.
Right.
Right.
They had to. That they have what they call satellite speakers, which are speakers that aren't connected as one, whereas it would give you the same effect.
But you can widen the speakers out.
But you can widen the range of the stereo vibrato by just separating the
And
speakers.
it's two separate power amps, separate speakers. It's ridiculous.
No, they're not two separate power
Oh,
amps.
is there one power?
There's one power amp, and then there's
and a
one
cable that crosses it.
cable that
Okay.
crosses. Right, exactly.
Mhm, mhm.
So,
Thrilling.
yeah. Yes, nerd shit.
Nerd
Nerd
stuff.
shit. We out here.
We'll get nerdy quick. That's all we do is nerd out.
Yeah.
Golf clap.
Yeah.
Lammy gave you the tepid applause.
Play that track, Butz.
Yeah, well, you guys want to come back after break to wrap up, and I'll put you guys on hold. We'll play the track, and maybe I'll do Bloom's track again too, which features Nigel on a righteous synth lead.
Yeah.
Before I
okay.
jump to break,
Nice lead.
like since I talk about guitar all the time, and it's fun because it's just fun. But Nige was talking about getting one, and you know that like when Nige comes out from behind the keys, he usually gets right in your face, Ryan. So like. What do you think's going to happen when he gets a guitar and he
look forward
comes
to
at
it.
it?
You know
Yeah.
what? I might have to actually revisit my wireless setup, and maybe we can roll around. A little
Yeah,
bit.
because I want to talk about. Yeah, I mean, I really do want to. I do really want
I
to talk
can see
about
that.
it.
If I look in my crystal ball, I can see.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, and it's on
Hey,
now.
be careful what you ask for.
Yeah. Well, honestly, Nigel, I listen.
It'll be in like 10 years.
I gotta say this. I would be careful, Nigel, what you wish for, because honestly, Ryan has sort of like changed the game. Like he's become like my favorite synth player on the saxophone.
Man, nobody's scared of Ryan. I thought that's everything So don't bite the hand that feeds you, okay?
Okay, Nigel.
Coming soon to a stage near you.
Y'all. Don't be back there talking about, this ain't no, don't listen. Everybody listening, it's all good. This is just playful banter here.
Playful banter, folks. But it is on.
Nothing to see here. Keep it moving.
Nigel loves my synth playing. Nigel, I synth and the road have a relationship.
Actually, real talk. Zoidis and I have joined forces. We locked together like Voltron inside of Voltron.
People don't know what the fuck is going on between the keys and what I'm doing. Like some of it,
right?
It'll be I'll regurgitate what Nigel did. And with a different sound, and it's like it turns into something else.
We definitely have gotten to a point where we feed off of each other with the synthesizers. We've even looked into
linking them up.
We've even looked into actually linking our shit together.
Which you can, it is possible. Like he could turn knobs.
You just got a rousing applause from Lammy on that, because he can do that. Apparently, you just struck a chord with him.
Hey, say less, Lammy. Say less.
See, of course, Lammy knows the ins and outs of CV and trigger and
we'll definitely need your help on that, Lammy.
Trigger, right. Just need a trigger in and out and a CV in and out, and then we can
a brick of C4.
Yep.
There we go.
Whole brick.
Lammy's like my man on Big Lebowski. You want a toe? I get you a toe by 3:30.
Well, yeah, we need a thumb actually. It's a thumb this time.
Hey, what did he say? He said, "I'm calmer than you are."
Yeah, he's finishing his coffee.
I'm calmer than you are.
Yeah, calmer than you are.
He said, I'm gonna drink my coffee.
Yeah, finish my coffee.
I'm finishing my shit.
Talking about prior restraint.
Yeah.
All right.
Market zero.
Yeah. Market zero. Doesn't anyone here care about the goddamn rules?
Any fans of that movie? There's a new movie out about Jesus.
Right, but I wonder if there's anyone on Earth who's seen that film.
I don't know. Anyone
seen the Jesus Quintana movie? No,
Look,
not a person.
I've seen the previews of it, and it looked good.
It looked like something. It looked like a movie.
Considering we're trapped in the fucking house, it looks really good.
Is it out on? Can you watch it online and stuff?
You can watch it on Apple TV.
Okay.
You can watch it on Apple TV. You can get it.
Jesus Rolls. Yeah.
Whatever.
It's a bowling movie.
It's actually not a bowling movie. From what I saw of it, I mean, obviously bowling's a part of it because he's a bowler.
Sure.
But from what I saw in the previews, it looks pretty good in the sense of it's not all about that. It's just about his story.
Right, it's his backstory.
Yeah.
It's probably
It's
like one of these, it's like a Better Call Saul type deal. It's like a Breaking Bad sequel. We get to know the guy. There's like some other story they create. It's kind of like it's more of like a relationship story. Better Call Saul, but it's a great series. It's just it's not necessarily what you would have expected, which I think is cool. It was like a family story in the beginning with his brother, and then it became like.
So apparently there are new episodes of that, and I can't really get into that.
How's the new Ozark, man?
Oh, bro, I can't even talk. If listen,
not yet.
We can't have this conversation on the air.
That was great. Narcos was great.
Which ones did you watch?
The new one? The latest Narcos.
The latest season.
Yeah. I've been instructed to get into Narcos too. I lost my. I couldn't get through season 1. It was like cool, but it just it didn't hold me through the end of it.
Yeah.
Any of the listeners out there, if you're looking for something to watch, if you haven't watched Power on Stars, please watch that. That is some good shit. If you like good old hood tales, you'll love Power.
Okay.
The old hood tales.
What about Soul Power?
Soul Power
Soul
is actually
Power.
better.
What
But
you
that's
need?
only one episode. But
No,
Soul
the movie,
Power,
the movie.
Soul Power, the movie is tell them about Soul Power. It's about Ali. It's when Ali and George Foreman were
Right.
supposed to fight in Africa, and they had a festival before the fight.
Yeah, they put on a show.
They put on a huge show. It was James Brown, the Spinners,
Yeah, Fela
Bill
Kuti.
Withers,
Raiders,
Bonnie
Brother Bill
All-Stars.
Withers,
Yeah, Bonnie
uh,
All-Stars.
Sister Sledge,
B.B. King,
BB.
Wow.
Celia Cruz.
In the heat.
Somebody up, Big Black.
Yep.
Shout out to Big Black.
Spinners. We already said that.
Yep, everybody. And
Everybody, it was
Lloyd
sick.
Price, everybody.
Yeah.
And it's online. It's on YouTube. You can
You can watch it on YouTube. It's one of the greatest movies of all
Soul
time.
Power.
One of
It
the
really is
greatest
the greatest movie of
music
all time.
documentaries of all time.
If
Yeah.
you've ever seen When We Were Kings, it's the footage
The music
festival
footage of that.
that they
yes.
did not use for When We Were Kings.
Right.
Like backstage footage of James Brown that
Yeah, yeah. And them all just hanging out in the hotel and talking in the
on a
hotel.
plane. They're on a plane
Yeah,
together. for
raids on a
hours.
plane. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my
you,
God.
you know,
Ridiculous.
when I went to.
So,
Oh, go ahead.
no, the funny story is when that movie first came out, I think I had just moved to New York at the time, and Zoidis, Krasno, Dyke, and myself, we all went to this movie theater to go and see it. So we went and saw it in the theater, and we were the only people in the theater. We were the only four. Well, it was a couple more with us, but we were the only group of people there in the theater, and we got to watch that shit in the theater, and it was so dope. And we could be loud. They had James Brown, and all you heard me in the back eating popcorn. And it was fun. That shit was,
And it was
I always had
blasting.
fun.
It was loud.
And it was
sounded
blasting.
good. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I mean, I hate to interject reality in here, but I wonder what kind of protocols we're going to be like easing our way back into in these types of things. Going to the movies is going to be a little different, I think. Everything's a little different, but like,
Yeah, I mean, everything is going to be different, bro. Going to the gas station is already weird. It's weird already.
Yeah.
if I was the
Oh,
movie
yeah.
theaters,
I had to like get like 3-4 paper towels just to even like get gas. I was like, I'm not touching this thing.
right.
Yeah, I feel bad for people that work in these places too, man.
Oh my God! Like I
But
was in the.
but
go ahead.
shout to them because they still kind of keeping shit. They making sure we ain't like dying of
Oh, without question, but like,
starvation and shit.
yeah,
you
but
know what I mean?
I was
I
in
know,
the I was in the
they're
market the
so
other day.
brave.
I was in the market and I'm walking by the girls at the register were like not wearing anything at all, and they just have people, a steady stream of people in their face.
That's not cool.
Yeah, right.
What place is this?
It's just like
said
Stop
where?
and Shop, Stop and Shop, Brighton,
Man,
Alston.
the little spot that I go to, they got these like full plexiglass windows up in front of the cashiers, all of them.
They should have that. Yeah, I mean maybe
They're like-
by now
they're
they've
like-
instituted
Yeah,
that.
4 feet
no,
tall.
yeah,
They're
fuck
not
that shit.
fucking around.
This was maybe 7 days
Great.
ago. You know, I got to be honest, guys. I went back and I listened to some of my first shows, and honestly, it was a little bit distressing because like I felt like I was way more scared. Like 13, 14 days ago. You know, they were canceling everything, and we didn't have any answers. And I was definitely like, I'm listening to myself talk. Like, if Lammy came like too close, like I would just like, you saw me skeeve. You saw me like my shoulders come up. I'm like, get away from me.
Yeah, well, you sound a little bit more relaxed. I can definitely tell.
Yeah, maybe I'm too relaxed. Is my point. You know
yeah,
what I
I know.
mean?
We got to be careful not to
that's-
get too relaxed. I was thinking about that earlier. 'Cause I have seen a couple
Look,
more
man,
people.
stay your ass in the house.
Yeah, last night I
Stay
forgot
your
to.
ass in the house and don't go nowhere but the radio station.
Right, and that's what I'm
Right.
doing. But I mean, last night I even forgot to bring like my spray sanitizer up with me. You know, it's like I was getting
Fuck all that.
lax.
You don't need to be going through all that. I feel like that might be a little too. That
I
might
don't
be a
know,
little-
bro.
I mean,
Lammy's
I mean,
ripping
yeah,
tubes he doesn't
whatever.
even have.
Say what?
Oh, you can't hear the sound effects. He just dropped a bong hit, and I'm just like, Lammy's over here ripping tubes, and like he doesn't even smoke. I'm like, he's just trying to be down. I think, it's like, and I'm okay with that.
Lammy is definitely down, bro.
Yeah.
Yep.
Lammy has earned his stripes.
Oh, has he ever? And like, I was going to say this too, is that I almost feel like, each one of you, like Nigel has spent significant time staying with me, and like Zoid stayed with me for a while, and like we've all had our time sort of like in BUTZ University. D Vibes has been with me for 2 years. It's like everyone goes to like,
survived.
Right. Yep. Everyone like sort of gets their time one after the other, but like this is my time
toured with Lammy.
Yeah.
Me and Nigel toured with Lammy.
Yeah. Now is my time with Lammy and his time with me. It's just weird how it took this long after 30 years.
Soul Live and Lettuce, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, with Soul Live and Lettuce.
That's right.
Yeah, man. We've been out here in the street, bro. All of us. Everybody on this line right now. We got history. Like history.
History.
More than 10 years history.
Yep.
I think it might be a little less for Vibes, but we know Vibes all our life.
Yeah, right. But Vibes is right there, exactly. And he was my roommate and did radio with me. He's logged more man hours with me. He has caught up.
Oh yeah, he got his stripes too.
Yeah,
that's right.
Vibes been going hard.
Well, let's see. Okay, I think I'm ready to jump to that song. If you want to hold, then we'll all like maybe come back for one little block to say goodbye. After this, I'm gonna play Psych Funk from special track Ryan Zoidis pre Nigel Hall.
It's just a demo. It's just a demo vibe.
Yeah, just something for the people to listen to.
The moment.
Yeah. And I think we'll also. Go ahead, Nigel.
No, I didn't say nothing.
Oh, I thought I heard you say something.
It's all X911. It's all X911 synth played with the saxophone.
Cool.
I don't think there's any actual sax on it.
Well, let's check it out. Here it comes,
let's check it.
We'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Michael Butler Quarantine Radio BUTZ Show. Still the BUTZ Show, still alive, still here, still live, Lammy. Yeah. We're getting there. Still on the phone with Ryan Zoidis and Nigel Hall from the band Lettuce.
Yeah.
You know, the problem with these applause is they last too long. Okay?
That's all right.
That's okay.
It's all right.
All right.
Bask in it. Bask.
We earned this motherfucker.
That's right.
Take the standing out.
That's right.
Well, that was a good break for me anyway.
Yeah.
Hey, what a vibe on both of those tunes, guys. This is like just
Huh?
Man?
Corona. Get on ya.
Yeah. How's your phone?
How's your phone?
Intelligent.
Great. Yeah, man, we're all alive. I'm very thankful to have my homies, man.
I'm thankful we're all
definitely
everybody on the phone right
positive
now.
to listen to homies, man.
Yeah, I think we lost D Vibes, but you know, we'll get back to Vibes for a minute. I tried to pick up his call twice, and he just couldn't get into the. It just wasn't the will of the conference gods.
No,
It's not working out.
Right.
tell him that we love him.
We feel the vibes.
Yeah, he'll be back.
Definitely feel the vibes.
Yeah, no, I mean, you know, if he's not here, I'm happy to talk about him because, you know, he's out there doing things, you know. It's like, you know, this is a kid who...
he's not here. I'm happy to talk about him.
You know, it's just sort of fill the space, you know. Fill up his space while he's not here. He just sits around, he makes beats. You know, like before the quarantine, during the quarantine, after the quarantine, you will find D-Vibes, you know, sitting behind his rig, making beats.
Yep. Making beats.
That's what he does. Morning, noon, and night.
All right, gentlemen. I love you all.
I love you too, Nigel. I'll see you. I'll catch you on the flip side.
Yeah, man. Call me tomorrow. I'm home.
Yeah, maybe we're just out of here. I'm ready to be out too. It's been a nice run. We had a good show.
I'm out. I'm crashing.
Thanks for sticking around, Nige. Yeah, me too, dude. Like I think it's time to pull a rip.
Thanks for putting this together, BUTZ.
Yo, thanks for coming on, guys. It's really good for me. It feels good. You know, like I know this is a crazy time. We're all trying to make something out of a bad situation where we don't get to hang out. So where you have to use our heads to figure out how to make this actually happen in a way that you know, we have to trick ourselves.
We got to use what we got to get what we want.
Smoke and mirrors. That's been my motto all along, and we're doing it here. And I got like a master magician to my right, and we're gonna keep doing this.
All right, Lammy. I'll holler at you, Lammy.
All right, Lamb.
My man, say less, bro.
Thanks, brother.
Love you guys.
Love you
too, man.
All right, there they go.
Peace.
Ryan Zoidis, Nigel Hall.
Good night.
Good night. Well, that was fun. You know, it's really nice to get caught up with the fellas, right? You know, maybe I'll see if I can go get D-Vibes now. You know, just works. But, yeah, you know, like that's what I was saying before. This is the point in time where I like to do a little classic show format, get a little loose, talk about the news. But is there anything in the news today? There's like one story I came across. It's called Virus. There's one story. There's one thing. Do I have to check the news? What do I check? The numbers? That number just goes up a little bit every day. Those numbers. I think it was like 100. I don't know. It was, yeah. You want to give me some numbers here? That's all it is. I mean, because I had the numbers earlier, but the numbers be changing. Is what's happening. But I will say that it is kind of disturbing that they're pulling over New Yorkers in Rhode Island. Yeah, they've decided that cops are going to pull over cars with New York plates, and the National Guard is actually involved in what they say they're looking for New Yorkers. They're trying to find New Yorkers. And I wonder how far they go to try to find New Yorkers in Rhode Island. But whatever, I heard the Governor Cuomo of New York talking about it today, where he is prepared to file suit against Rhode Island on behalf of his citizens, saying that what they're doing is actually a violation of his citizens or his, residents. So I would tend to agree with him. I would tend to agree that you just can't go around pulling over people with New York plates. You know, like, hey, where'd you come from? How long you been in town? You know? I don't even know what Rhode Island's marijuana law is, because then they'll just be like, you got pot? You got weed? I smell pot. I smell weed. You know, like, I don't know. Like, I don't think maybe they've gone all the way. I think they went all the way over there. But, like, you know, you just can't go around pulling over New Yorkers. I know that New Yorkers should not be scattering to, like, other towns because they're trying to, like, break quarantine. But do you understand that's actually the danger here? The danger here is, you know, Trump actually was on the phone with Cuomo 15 minutes before he went on 15 minutes before he was in a phone call with Governor Cuomo. They were talking about things like you know, respirators, and they were talking about supplies and the things that they needed, and they seemed to have a fair conversation. There was nothing out of order. But 15 minutes later, Trump goes into a press conference and says, yeah, we're thinking about a quarantine for New York, parts of New Jersey, and Connecticut. Like quarantine, which means like the tanks show up and you know, set a border and say you can't leave. Okay, and the thing about that is you don't announce that you might do a quarantine, right? If you're trying to contain people, because if people say, "Hey, Trump is thinking about a quarantine," and you don't want to be on the inside of that, you're going to leave. You're going to leave. What is this? Oh, yeah, I saw that story. I don't want to touch this one with a 10-foot pole, you know, and I have my reasons. But anyway, yeah, no, that's the whole thing is, yeah, it just defeats the purpose, you know, and it's dangerous. You're putting people at risk by teasing the idea that you're going to have a thing, and you're saying it when you were just on the phone with the governor of New York. And if you were really considering it, then don't you think you would have had a conversation with him about it? And it would have been like, what do we have to do to avoid this quarantine? Right? But that's not what happened. So what is he doing? Propaganda? Scare tactic? Like, is he coming out? Is he just trying to mess with, like, the Democrat governor? I don't know what's going on, but it doesn't add up for me, because, like, if you're really serious about something, you're going to talk about it. Or, like, he's just freestyling. You know what I mean? He's just sort of like, yeah, you know, we could quarantine that whole area. All of a sudden, like, I felt like putting on Escape from New York. Like, where all of a sudden, like, you know, if I'm a New Yorker, like, I'm putting on an eye patch and growing my hair out and, like, you know, calling Isaac Hayes for some backup. Or is that Escape from L.A.? You know, I can't really keep those two movies straight. But I'm trying to say, like, this is a job for Snake Plissken. Wait, where is what's going on here? I have D Vibes on hold, and D Vibes is calling me. What happens if I merge D Vibes with D Vibes? Are you there, Vibes?
Yeah.
Should I merge you with yourself?
Yeah.
Let's see what happens.
You need to be on the one.
All right.
To replay your message, press 1. To delete and re-record your.
Oh my God! I've been talking to your voicemail this whole time. All right, I have to get him back because I had to hang.
No.
I guess now we figured out that mystery. I've been talking to your voicemail quietly in the background. Yo, Vibes, what's been going on, man? Somehow, like, it wouldn't let you into that conference.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on, man.
I don't know. I'm thirsty,
bro. It's been a crazy day, man.
Yeah, you good?
I'm okay. I'm trying to be good. Yeah.
Well, I hope that conversation helped you take your mind off things.
It does, man. Love those guys, man. Zoid, Nigel, man. Love the new track that we just got too, man. That was funky.
All right, so the big number, this is not how we take our mind off things. All right, so no, I have the numbers, but you know what? I don't want the numbers anymore. But leave them, because I might have to talk about them. But, you know, the whole point is we can get the numbers somewhere. But the bottom line is, you know, there's certain things that are bugging me. Like, I got into it earlier where where my life is no different right now. It's eerily similar, my life, to, like, John Hurt in 1984. You know, like in the beginning scene, like if you ever remember the book 1984, like it's like a guy in a cold room, you know, with a TV screen on, in a world where, like, you know, all he had, like, he gets a ration of supplies. You know, his cigarettes are loose. You know, like if he moves, they fall out. he's drinking like a viscous sort of crappy whiskey that they give him. It's like, or like vodka, or just something that's like oily. He doesn't. It's just this really desperation. This really desperate vibe of what it's like to live in the society, and it's like, it's almost like that now because I'm eating like cold oatmeal and sitting around the apartment and like I'm like talking to my folks, but like over like where it's safe over the phone. It's like I can't actually really spend any time with them because we've been separated, but. It's a musical shift when I get sentimental. The Hawk always knows when to shift the tone in the background. We're going to get you hooked up, Vibes. Just for everyone.
Let's do it, man.
It's kind of like I wanted to talk about at some point today, maybe perhaps explain what this show used to be, and explain what this show is. Now versus that and where we're going, but right now I just want to talk. Well, maybe we'll do that whole, what is it like a town hall, BUTZ Show town hall? Like we'll just sort of talk about where we've been, answer questions, discuss the future and the present and what we're trying to accomplish here. We might do like the town hall and that maybe have like Lammy read me some questions. Do you know what I mean? He could read me some questions. About pointed questions. I mean, I would have answers because I'm creating the questions. So it might just be a setup. Yeah, the BUTZ Show is rigged, folks. But anyway, yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know, Vibes. I'm just trying to like touch the bases, talk about the world. I think we determined that it's got to be an R-rated show because I gotta maybe like. Smoke pot on there, and I got to talk about crazy things. And Nigel comes on my show, so like when Nigel comes on my show, like I used to be on a censored station, so like it was kind of like tough. But now I want to take all those shackles off. I want to remove the constraints. I want to let him be who he is and say what he says, and have it be okay. And it's okay with me, so it should be okay with the Facebook algorithm. I don't know if you can break the Facebook, dropping all kinds of language. But I think the sad thing here is that I can't let my niece and nephew listen to the show. They're not ready for it. Can you do that, Lammy? You want to do a 7-second delay? Oh wow! They never tried to do that at my last station. They just told me not to do it. They never what I had to do a sound effect that I had to like do it as I said it, knowing I was gonna swear. But no, I would do all that. I don't know. That was loud. It was too loud. Sorry, listeners. Let's bring it down. This is the mellow music.
Yeah, the Hawk.
Yes, you can hear it. I mean, just take that in, folks. I'm not going to say anything.
That's what we need right there.
That's right.
More of that. More synthesis.
Oof, well, these are the last 40 seconds of synthesis. And then I think we're going to wrap it up. So just enjoy them.
Just that right there fills my soul right there.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have indeed arrived at the end of the Michael Butler BUTZ Show, Quarantine Show. Still like a format in flux. We're going to settle into a permanent name, but, under all circumstances, I've had a few different shows at a few different slots with a few different people. But any show that has got me in the one seat will always be the BUTZ Show. So under all of its, we don't know where it's going. Like I said, I know where it's been, but it'll always be the BUTZ Show. That's a promise. And wherever we're going, like the future starts now. I want you guys to, share, show the love, share my show if you like it, if you think you know some people that might enjoy these conversations that we're having. If you think, you know some people who you'd like to hear on the show, let me know. I'll reach out to them. It's like that. If you want to, make a donation to me and my staff, John Lammy over here, D Vibes, I probably need to take care of the kid right now. So why don't you can make your donations to at BUTZ Show, BUTZ Show at Venmo. Promotional consideration paid for by the following. Thank you to the Sound Museum Rehearsal Complex and the Desmonds for putting these roofs over our head to do this. And, shout out to my friends over at Festify. And Vibes, I think we'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah, it's our Sunday night jams, bro. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Same BUTZ time, same BUTZ channel. We'll be back.